What's in the heads of the poor? Many people wonder. You've surely heard someone ask this question at some point. What's in the heads of the poor? They ask when they see us have many children, when they see us behaving violently, when they see us wearing shoes that look like they're from another planet. But above all, when they see that we, the poor, are still poor. Why don't we escape poverty? Why do we repeat the same story? Do we like to live like this? My name is Mayra Arena, and I have almost all the wounds of any poor person. My mother was at a tender age when she gave birth to me. I don't have a father. We are a group of brothers. None of us has a father. I left school at 13. I was a mother at 14, and I could tell you more. But before I cause you depression, I want to tell you a discovery I made when I was young and never told anyone. I've kept it a secret all these years, and I'm going to tell you about it today. When I was a child, I'm from Villa Caracol, one of the poorest neighborhoods in Bahia Blanca, where I grew up. There were no bathrooms. We managed to solve this problem as best we could, but no one in the neighborhood had a bathroom. Of course, I knew what a bathroom was, a school bathroom, a public bathroom, but I'd never been to a home bathroom. One evening, a friend invited me to play at her house, and of course, that evening, at some point, I asked to go to the bathroom. When I entered, to my surprise, she said, "They have 2 toilets." "Why do they have 2 toilets in the house?" I said. "Is one for adults and one for children? Is one for women and one for men?" I looked closely and discovered that the second toilet didn't have a drain, but it did have this cover. That's when I said, that's the urinal. The secret I wanted to share is that for years I urinated in my friend's bathroom, and I won't tell you how old I was, believing it was the urinal. That's a secret that will die with me. But returning to the question of what's in the heads of us poor people, one begins to realize one is poor, first and foremost, when one enters school. I remember when I started school, all my classmates had the drawing tools they liked, and I was there with my state-granted tools. I remember having a Spider-Man pencil case and a cover with motorcycles on it, and my classmates innocently came up to me and said, these things are for boys. And I, dying from the desire to have things like other girls, but never admitting it, told them, yes, I like boys' things. And after a while, out of nowhere, or seemingly out of nowhere, I grabbed the hair of the girl who had said my things were masculine. The teacher didn't understand anything. It was the beginning of violence, seemingly out of nowhere. The truth is, violence began as a means of getting revenge on others for having something I didn't have. But we also believe, wrongly, in the idea that if we are violent, you will respect us. Because when a person starts acting violently, they stop asking you why your shoes are torn, why your backpack is so old, why you never bring what the teacher asks for, why you use boys' stationery. Because I don't have photos of my school supplies, and there are almost no photos of me as a child, I'm going to show you my colonial costume, made of cut cellophane. I was able to retrieve this image thanks to the fact that to this day, I'm still friends with the knight in the middle of the picture. Many people then wonder what goes through our heads when they see us as young men and teenagers wearing expensive shoes, as Mati Karika sang, who sang for 300 pesos and now modernized it and sang for 300 euros. You did a good job because nothing really costs 300 pesos. And people say, why do they use these shoes? Why do they need them? Bright colors, giants, they must be horrible shoes. The truth is, after many years, we use shoes from the garbage or from somewhere. We use state tools. We wear clothes from a cousin and jackets from the church or from a neighbor. After many years of all this, the day you can buy a shoe, it won't be enough just to buy it. You have to tell people that you bought it. We feel less poor with those shoes. We feel that this way, no one will realize that we've spent all these years wearing shoes found in the trash. But besides wearing shoes from another planet and behaving violently because we believe this way we'll be respected, or that this way we'll take revenge on everything other people own, we're also lazy. I don't know if you've ever had a bricklayer working in your house, but I can assure you that on Monday, this man won't come. People ask why. Why don't they work? Do we hate work? Do we live outside society, as others say? Before, there were no classes and we were the same. The truth is that this begins in childhood, and there is a very big difference. I always insist that structural poverty is not the same as scattered poverty. Scattered poverty is known to the majority of Argentines. When the head of the household lost his or her job, they ate pasta every day, started walking instead of driving, and survived. But their parents always worked every day or went out looking for, quote, work every day, and above all, they sent them to school every day. We, who grew up in structural poverty, who lived on the margins of society, went to school whenever we could, whenever possible. No one ever taught us that we had to do something Monday through Friday. We never developed the habit of waking up early every day. And you know, anything you don't learn as a child becomes harder to learn as an adult. Then employers say, I hired a kid, he never shows up, something always happens and the teamwork fails. And they say, why don't we go to work? The truth is we don't know how to integrate into a work environment. But people wonder more about what's going on in our heads when they see that we have so many children. People lose hope when they see that we, the poor, have children. And now, after I've told you this, that we become violent because we mistakenly believe that this way others will respect us, that we wear these shoes because we believe this way they will see us as less poor, that we are lazy because we don't integrate into the work environment, I'd like to say something a little more humorous or amusing to explain why we have children. It's much simpler than that. We have children because it's the only thing we can have. And we have so much more because we find in every child a reason to wake up every day despite our poverty. And you'll say, why is this little girl who grew up like this and says she lived like this standing here today telling us this? And that's a question that must be asked. The truth is that the family who invited you into their home to play taught you much more than how to use the bathroom.
They taught you that life can be different, that you can enjoy it differently, and that you can live it differently. But it wasn't just me who learned this from them. They also learned it from me and my family. I don't know if any of you are the friend who lent me the pigeons or the friend who was surprised by their friend's pigeons, but it's nice to meet people with different pigeons. Not only does it show you that there are other ways to see life, but more importantly, and what took me years to understand, because I spent so many years angry about school supplies, costumes, and shoes, I realized that no one chooses their pigeon when they're born. I know that we Argentinians have come a long way as a society, a great deal. I know that before it was a crime to be gay, and today instead it seems scandalous to us when someone is attacked for their sexuality. Before it was a sin to be a woman and aspire to do more than housework, and today instead it is an insult if they want to assign us housework simply because we are women. And I am glad that we are shamed by these things. But today, there is something that doesn't make us feel ashamed. We are not ashamed of poverty. We walk down the street and see a man sleeping rough, and it doesn't make us feel ashamed. We walk down the street and see a child begging or selling instead of playing, and we don't feel ashamed. I didn't come here to lecture you, to ask you to feel ashamed every time you see a poor person, or to invite them into your bathroom. What I came here to tell you is this idea I have, which is that it is unfair that we poor people are judged as uneducated, but no one ever asks if anyone taught us. We are judged as disrespectful, but no one ever asks if anyone respected us. To be more specific, we poor people are often judged as cold and unfriendly, but no one ever asks if we received love. I would like to tell you, I know it's hard to understand who we are and what's in our heads, and I know it's very difficult to understand wearing other people's shoes, and I know you often get angry when you see us still the same. But now, when you go out here, every time you come across a quote-unquote homeless person, a poor person, a marginalized person, because you will come across us, because there are many of us, because we are everywhere, and because we are not invisible as many say. But when you come across them, before you get angry, before you ask what is in the heads of these people, I would like you to consider whether you would be angry with a child who peed in your toilet because she had never seen a bathroom before. Thank you very much.